everyone, I'm Matt.
I'm Desiree.
And we're bringing you this week's Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide.
Welcome to J-Hook July here on the Rising Tide West Coast Swing Guide. This is our series where we break down dance moves that incorporate the common J-Hook lead and teach you how to dance them even better. So we're going to talk about today what is a J-Hook lead, how do you do it, and then we're going to show you that J-Hook lead in the most common pattern it's danced in, the regular whip. From there, we're going to incorporate it into a new pattern after we talk about the mechanics that make it go really well for both lead and follow. So Matt, what is a J-Hook lead? How do you do this?
Well, Desiree, J-Hook lead is exactly what it sounds like. It's making a J, focusing specifically on kind of the hook part on the bottom of the J, and using that to lead, specifically lead the follower. So if I were to draw this kind of in the vertical plane so you can see it easier, I'm drawing a J, the long side with a hook at the bottom. Long side and hook at the bottom. Now, of course, we're not dancing in the vertical plane, we're dancing in the horizontal plane, or we're leading in the horizontal plane. So I'm going to make, actually I'll do this without Desiree, I'm going to make that same J in the horizontal plane. So same shape, but horizontal instead of vertical. Now, what this produces in my follower is a little bit of a rotation. The most common pattern where we use this J hook is the beginning of the whip. So when I'm leading that pivot, 1 into 2, that's that J hook element, right? Where we have the line, and then the hook at the bottom, which is what's producing the rotation for the follower. Now, the goal for the J hook is for this to not be an arm movement, for this to actually come from my body rotation. So when my body goes back on 1, that's the long side of the J, and then when I rotate to the right on 2, that's the hook.
So we could say your body is like the hand doing the writing, and your arm and hand are actually like the pen.
Sure, you could say that.
That's what we can say. So followers, this is all well and good, but you'll notice that we do a pretty sharp pivot through our West Coast swing whip and other J-hook moves to get us into a rotation. So how do we actually follow through on this lead for a J-hook? Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that my steps fall underneath my body. If I take steps that are outside of my hips and outside of where my body can reach, I will not be able to feel this beautiful body lead coming from my leader because my step is so far ahead of my body. I will get kind of crisscrossed in that moment and feel a little bit awkward about that. So instead I'm taking steps underneath my body to be able to follow through. I also need to be behind my leader in terms of when I'm stepping. So that's not a whole beat behind followers, but we're just a hair behind our leader so that leader goes and then I follow through. If I charge ahead of my leader, what I'm going to notice is that, again, I miss that lead completely. The final thing that can cause me to miss that J-hook lead completely is being disconnected in my frame and having my arm and my body move separately. So I'll not feel that, I'll even kind of extend my arm, overextend my arm there. So the cheat code for doing this, if you're new, is to think about your nose and your wrist being connected. Wherever your wrist goes, your nose follows. So that's something you can be thinking about in your dance if you're someone who tends to miss rotations, particularly this J-hook lead. Now, the more authentic way to connect body with arm is to actually build engagement through those muscle groups that connects our arms and our bodies. So we're doing that through shoulders up, back, and down. So you feel a nice connection where your muscles meet. And from there, your arms can be relaxed and you follow through really, really well.
Now, next move we're going to talk about is what we call a J-hook free spin. We'll use this a lot of times as a teaching tool for the double outside turn because really, ideally, it's the same thing. But what we're going to do is we're taking away the ability to add momentum in the middle of the pattern and we're needing to produce all of it at the beginning, which is just like what we would want for the double outside turn. So what I'm doing to break this down, J-hook, 1, 2, but then release. So instead of catching the back or holding the hand like in the whip, I'm just doing that J-hook and releasing and trusting the follower to do their own thing.
Yes, and we're using that momentum, following our wrist with our nose and our body to create that walk, walk, triple step follow through that leads us through those turns into anchor.
That was your guide. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, and check out our website and online store, link in the description.
See you soon.